Hello, and welcome to Shortcut Up CNC. Today we're going to talk about a gadget that I've been working on. It's a gadget that creates vertical and horizontal vectors for panel production, so to speak. Rather than cutting all the way around a particular panel in rectangles, and it cuts twice here, we are setting up vertical and horizontal vectors, and then we do a profile toolpath that does a 5-pass and then moves on to the next vector and does 5-pass depth and moves on to the next. And it continues all the way through there like that. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and play this and you'll see it in action. It actually creates the vectors one at a time, doing all 5 passes to its total depth. And then it just scoots over to the next vector, shortest path, and then does all 5 passes on that and goes back through. Now, all that is set up within the toolpath process. If I double click on this, I've got show advanced toolpath options checked here. You will only see this stuff here if you've got that checked. So here we go to order, and what I've done is I've checked off vector selection order. I started with this vector and selected each one of them all the way across, and then I selected this one and this one and that one and that one. I'm not necessarily in that order. I don't remember the horizontal, but the vertical, I went from start point here, shortest action is from my datum point to here and starts working. And it goes all the vertical and then it does the horizontal and then returns to the home position. That is all set up within the toolpath. Now, let's get back to what created these vertical and horizontal vectors. It is a gadget. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this and I'm going to bring in a new project with the same sheet and same datum setup and the zero position. Um, I usually use material surface. So we're going to say okay to that. And we're going to go get the gadget that created the vectors. Here we have the gadget. It asks for the job size first. You put that in. So, and the default is automatically 96 by 48. So I don't have to change that. The X width of your panel and the Y height, the vertical vector, horizontal vector. We're going to leave it 12 by 12 and say okay to that. And it comes up and it tells you exactly what's going to happen. Within the grid, there's going to be 7 columns, 3 rows for a total of 21 panels to fit the usable area. There we have it. Now, with the usable area, I have in the gadget a border or trim set up here of 3/4 of an inch. That is not changed by the user interface. It is within the gadget and it coding, and it can be changed in the coding. Now I can modify the user interface to include this trim to no trim or whatever the size you desire. Now, this is how it's set up now. The gadget sets it up. But if I highlight the vectors and I center it to my material board, I now have plenty of room to apply my clamps. Now, if I want to create my toolpaths, I can highlight all the vectors, go to the profile toolpath. I'm going to go to the depth plus a little on the vector. Of course, that makes your panels a little small. They won't be exactly 12 by 12, so you will have to adjust for that in your on the job interface. When you say the size of the panels, you got to compensate for all that. You're going to lose on each panel, you're going to lose a 1/4 inch because it trims down the center. So you lose a 1/4 inch on each side, which is a total of a 1/2 inch on the width of your panels. So it's no longer 12 by 12, it's 11 and a half. So you got to compensate for all that. Okay, so on the vector, and as you notice here, I have the checkbox for the advanced toolpaths. I go to the selection order, and now I change my selection. I start going by taking that one, and I hold the shift key down, and I'm telling the program exactly what order I want these vectors done. Okay, so I end on this one. So you start here with 5 passes, goes to this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, then this one, and then it does this one. So you have to figure out which is the closest, and then select it. And maybe I did it right, I don't know. And make sure you get your perimeter vectors also. So that's the selection order that it's going to run in. You may not necessarily like that order. You may want to continue from one side and work to the other. I bounced around, so it's going to be traveling a little bit. So that's one of the benefits of the having the order. You can go to the shortest path, and it'll fix the shortest path for you. Or you can go from left to right, bottom to top, or a particular type of grid. In this case, we're using vector selection order. So now I say calculate, and it calculates all those toolpaths to the particular order that I asked for. And if I run it, you'll see that it does what I asked it to. So there you have it, a gadget that creates vertical and horizontal vectors for panel production or whatever you have available or are designing. Thank you for watching Shark Cut Up CNC.